You're now joining the meeting.
Rise if you're
This meeting is being recorded and/or transcribed.
moment of silence for all our military, emergency personnel, first responders, and especially at this time, our healthcare providers that are doing God's work in getting through this coronavirus, that they all come home safe. Thank you. If you're able to, I would ask you to follow me and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
To the flag of
of the United States of America,
Of America,
to the
to the
republic,
republic for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation, under God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with liberty and
and
justice.
justice for all.
The notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-10, has been complied with and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting.
Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood,
Here.
Freeholder Ascona Barber,
Here.
Freeholder Kenny,
Here.
Freeholder Koppel. Here. Freeholder Nara. Here. Freeholder Tamaro.
Here.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Here. Again, I'd like to repeat before we start the meeting, if you are not speaking, please keep your phone on mute. So this way there's no background noise and we could hear every speaker as they speak. At this time, we will consider resolutions 20-534, 20-535, and 20-536, and the clerk will read by title only.
Okay, 20-534-R, confirm the actions of the Board of Chosen Freeholders that previously adopted a calendar year 2020 resolution number 20-498-R to increase tax levy cap limits and establish a cap bank, NJSA 40A:4-45.14. 20-535-R, amend resolution number 20-350-R dated March 5th, 2020, which authorized the county sheriff's office to exceed the county entity budget request cap to reflect the new cap amount, PL 2015, Chapter 249. 20-536-R, amend resolution number 20-351-R dated March 5th, 2020, which authorized the county surrogate's office to exceed the county entity budget request cap to reflect the new cap amount, PL 2015, Chapter 249.
Okay, at this time, I open up the public portion on resolutions 20-534, 20-535, and 20-536 only. I'd just like to remind everyone, before we begin the public portion of this meeting, I would like to advise the public to state your name and address when you speak, and you have 5 minutes. While the teleconference format of tonight's meeting is unique, we ask that we all maintain the same level of respect and decorum that we have in the Freeholder meeting by refraining from using profanity or raising our voices. Anyone that does not comply with this policy will be ruled out of order. If I have to say that a second time, you will be muted. Thank you for your patience while we use this new format under these unusual circumstances. Is there anyone from the public that would like to comment on resolutions 20-534, 20-535, or 20-536?
Motion to close the public portion.
Second.
Motion to close by Freeholder Tamaro, seconded by Freeholder Koppel. Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood,
Yes.
Freeholder Ascona Barber,
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny,
yes,
Freeholder Koppel. Yes. Freeholder Nara. Freeholder Nara. Yes. Freeholder Tamaro.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes. All right, at this time, is there a motion to adopt resolutions 20-534, 20-535, and 20-536 only?
Yeah, motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Tamaro, seconded by Freeholder Koppel. Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood,
Yes.
Freeholder Ascona Barber,
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny?
Yes.
Freeholder Koppel?
Yes.
Freeholder Nara?
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios?
Yes.
The 2020 budget summary was advertised in the Home News Tribune on April 4th, 2020, and posted on the Middlesex County Government website, calling for a public hearing on Thursday, April 16th, 2020. The 2020 budget detail was sent to each public library in Middlesex County in accordance with NJSA 40A:4-48 and Local Finance Notice 2020-07.
The clerk will read the summary of the introduced budget.
Summary of the introduced budget. Total of general appropriations for 2020, $510,843,436. Less anticipated revenues, $92,346,686. Amount to be raised by taxation, county purpose tax, $418,496,770.
Okay, I would ask at this time if there's a comment by the Chair of Finance, Freeholder Koppel.
Yes, Director, thank you. Over the last decade, Middlesex County has been committed to ensuring it provides quality services to our municipalities and our residents. This year's budget is evidence of that commitment and is a result of the hard work and dedication of our Freeholder Board and county staff. The budget is a testament to the unique position of Middlesex County, a position of financial strength and stability that allows us to provide essential services, make investments, act as a resource for our residents, businesses, and partners in the county, even in a crisis. We are fortunate to have cultivated this position over the past decade, and now we are fortunate to have continued leadership in the county to ensure we continue with this kind of financial stewardship and management. Accordingly, the 2020 budget reflects a commitment to continuing to lower the county's debt service. The 2020 budget reflects a decrease in the debt of $11.5 million. Because of this, the county is able to maintain its coveted AAA bond rating, which enables us to spend less taxpayer money when completing critical infrastructure projects such as roads, bridges, and signals. For example, those savings have allowed the county to support projects like the performing arts centers located throughout the county in New Brunswick, Carteret, Metuchen, and Woodbridge, as well as improvements to our parks and recreation facilities and continued investment in our golf courses. The increased surplus, larger capital cash account, and flat tax rate are all a result of measures taken by the Freeholder Board and County Administration, including the implementation of new technology and the creation of operating efficiencies within the county structure, as well as expanding tax base, which comes with a strong economy. Investing in the well-being of the county's employees, the 2020 budget includes a 0% increase in the health benefits, which is possible in part due to the county's implementation of its employee wellness program. Over 2,800 employees take advantage of the program, which cultivates a healthier workforce by focusing on general nutrition, exercise, and weight management, smoking cessation, and blood pressure regulation. During these challenging times for our community, we have built a financial plan in our budget that allows us to deal with this COVID-19 emergent event by utilizing our retained surplus, which was intended for this very purpose. Our ability to do this places Middlesex County in a very unique position, a position that enables us all to work with our communities and be a resource for our residents as we look to build a bridge to the future of Middlesex County following the crisis. I thank my fellow freeholders, the county administrator, the finance department under the direction of Joe Peretti, and our employees for their hard work in establishing this introduced budget. Thank you, Director.
Thank you, Freeholder Koppel. I'd like to begin by saying thank you to Freeholder Koppel and the entire Freeholder Board, the county administration, the county's finance department, and county staff, all of whom are committed to serving our residents and maintaining a budget that is fiscally responsible and that allows the county to continue to operate from a position of financial strength. It is this financial strength and stability that allows the county to not only successfully manage our finances, operations, and services through this crisis, but also to be able to build a bridge out of this crisis for our residents and our businesses. This budget is a result of months of hard work by all involved, and I'm proud to have the opportunity to lead a county dedicated to presenting, managing, and leading a responsible budget. Through measures we have put in place in our day-to-day operations, including the implementation of new technology and the improvement of operating efficiencies, the county is able to increase its surplus and capital cash accounts and maintain its AAA bond rating. Those savings have made it possible for this Freeholder Board to invest in new services for the arts, technology, and healthcare, and infrastructure like roads, bridges, and new signalization. The 2020 budget has been amended to reflect the efforts we have made to ensure that we can effectively cover the additional cost of this COVID-19 state of emergency with no impact to our county taxpayers. We are utilizing our surplus funds intended for this very purpose to successfully manage through an unprecedented crisis while continuing to provide essential services to our communities in Middlesex County. We are working with our state and federal partners in order to recuperate all the additional cost. Ultimately, the hard work and dedication of our freeholders and staff directly benefits our residents and municipalities. Again, I wish to thank all that have a role in our financial management and oversight, and that help maintain the financial strength and stability of our county. I would like to particularly thank my colleague Fielder Koppel for her leadership and our Chief Financial Officer Joe Peretti for his expertise. Thank you. Okay, at this time, I will open up the public hearing on the introduced budget. If anyone has a comment on the budget only, please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, Charlie Cradaville, New Brunswick Today.
Yes, Mr. Cradaville.
Good evening, Freeholders. I wanted to ask about the jail and what amount is allocated for their expenses and how much revenue do they generate through, for instance, the administrative fee that they assess on inmates.
Joe or John Palomina, can you?
Yeah, we could provide that information to you, Mr. Cradaville. It's in. I know it was published. Joe, I'm not sure if you have that information in front of you at this point in time relative to the revenues they collect through inmates or not. But if we don't, we can definitely provide that to you subsequent to the meeting.
All right. Are there other sources of revenue through the jail? Do they get a cut of the telephone money, for instance, or the other funds that are floating around?
I believe that has been eliminated through previous regulation that was set forth, but we can confirm that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would express a concern about the administrative fee. I don't think it's necessary or right to charge people to go to jail. I don't think anybody goes there, or at least most people don't go there, on purpose.
Mr. Cradaville, let's refer to the budget itself, not a policy on fees.
Well, with all due respect, I believe this makes up a portion of your budget. About a couple.
Like I said, please refer to the budget items that you may have questions on.
So that was the main one, actually. But I guess I would like to hear, just in general, what are some of the major changes, major projects that the county has in this year's, I guess, record high budget of $510 million.
John? Again, consistent with the Freehold directives indicated, and it's 510, but 418 million through taxation. Those numbers reflect $60 million of continued capital investment, which is consistent, which we do each and every year. It consists as an increase of 2% relative to salary and wages, operating expenses as it relates to, again, continued cost potential increases related to contract agreements that are set forth by resolution. Again, the increase overall relative to last year's budget is covered by the increased rateable, so the net impact to the taxpayer is $0.
So same rate, county rate as last year.
That is correct.
That's correct.
Again, one of the policies that we set forth is the fact that, as we continue driving economic growth in our county, we maintain the fact that obviously expenses increase as it relates to contractual salary increases, along with contractual agreements with outside providers for food services and the like. And we try to ensure that even though there may be a $15 million increased expenses, it is offset by the fact that with economic growth, we have $15 million in new ratables, so the net impact to the taxpayer is $0.
Thank you for your answers. That's all on the budget.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the public that has any comments on the budget?
Danielle Moore.
Yes, Danielle Moore, your address, and you have 5 minutes.
333 Somerset Street. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I would like to know, included in this budget, will anything be able to be repaired for the new school that will be built, as far as you taking care of your property, upgrading your property for Jersey Avenue and Route 27 to make it safer for schools? How much this will be added on to the, is anything included in that for the school?
John?
Yes, there's no obviously there's no funding for the schools. There are always infrastructure improvements to county roadways. Route 27, I believe, is a state roadway. I'm not sure, but we continue to make improvements to signalization and to infrastructure for roadways where appropriate. But there is no funding for any school improvements. That is not part of our budget.
Well, I will say, I have made my list due to where they're still thinking about putting a school on your road. I have made a list of, due to where plenty of improvements that the county will have to do to upgrade to make this safe for a school.
Anything else on the budget?
That's the main thing I would surely say. Like I said, I made my list what needs to be upgraded, and it's going to cost the county and the city a lot more money than they think to make it safe for a school zone. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the public that has any comments on the introduced budget?
I have a question.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Yes, Catherine Hunt. I'm at 121P Lowell Lane in Monroe. I was just concerned about the expenses, the COVID expenses that you said come out of the emergency fund, which sounds like a great fund to have. Thank you very much. And
I'm sorry, ma'am. I hate
yes?
to interrupt you, ma'am. I hate to interrupt
yes?
you, but we lost you there for a few
Oh,
seconds.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now? Okay, great.
Yes.
Yes, I was concerned about the COVID response, and I see that you've said that a lot of this comes out of the emergency fund, which sounds great, and thank you for maintaining that fund. Now, I'm thinking of the people who are incarcerated in our prisons or in our jails, that is, have as many people as can possibly be released. Have they been emptied out of our jails?
There were certain people that were released from the jail, and that
Mm-hmm.
was guided by the prosecutor's office and the courts as far as which ones were able to be released. They were either on the verge of getting released, or they were not major crimes committed.
All the people who just were there for nonviolent crimes, or were children, or old, or in any way capable of being released, as long as they were. Mm-hmm.
The only ones that were released, I can't.
Warden Cranston, if you want me, I can answer this.
Yes, sure.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Mm-hmm.
Hi, this
He's
is
the
Warden Cranston. How are you?
Hi, thank you very much for answering. Yes.
My pleasure. So everybody that was eligible, everybody that was proposed to be released was reviewed, and if eligible, in agreement with the prosecutor's office, the public defender, and the judges, was released. And on an ongoing basis, there are several individuals that, as they come nearer to their sentence or as they experience certain situations, are reviewed for release. So it's sort of a rolling thing. But at the end of the day, what we do is strive to release anybody that is eligible, anybody that fits the criteria, and anybody that may fall into that vulnerable category. We would try to release as best we can. So
That's great.
It's not just we release them already. It's we continue to review that on a daily basis.
Continue. Great. Do you know about what percentage of people were able to be released?
Ma'am, in this portion of the meeting, you have to stick to the questions that are allowed to be heard, and that's part of the public hearing, only on the budget. Budget items. There's another part of the meetings that you can speak on other items.
Okay. I was wondering how that impacted our budget and the emergency fund, and also how the treatment and, following the CDC guidelines, how does that?
We're using surplus funds to help pay for all the expenses that are incurred because of the COVID-19 crisis. And then after this is all over, our intention is to submit all our expenses to the federal government for recovery of those expenses.
Oh, I see. Okay, so that's where the funds are covered. All right, thank you. I was wondering how that worked. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else in the public that would like to speak on the budget alone?
No.
Yes. Hello?
Yes, please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Teresa Vivar, 10 Prospect Street, New Brunswick. I'm just want to, I'm reading the minutes on the budget, and I think with the situation of COVID, even though we have money allocated for county social services and other stuff, I think it's important to consider what's going on in with the immigrant community right now. We don't have, even though we're trying to inform community members about the different resources that are available in our county, we have problems with housing issues in terms of rent and tenants and landlords. And right now, our community is worried about how we're going to pay the rent for May, how it's going to be, money for food, money for the stuff that we really need in this case. So in not counting with health issues, the lack of enough allocated spaces for isolation, right, in our county, I think it's many ways that we should somehow connect before taking the decisions on how these funds are going to be allocated. To talk with our different organizations, give us this feedback, and plan how these funds are going to be allocated in ways that we can create balance between those that are able to receive some type of incentive or checks or governmental support, and those that we have that they don't. We have problems also with the social services, like people is applying for certain programs that they could apply, but it's not really happening. We encounter many problems. So I just suggest that please consider to have these community meetings or include other people that represent the immigrant community that is living in the county. Even though this is a public crisis that we're suffering, and I think the Middlesex County Freeholder group should or could in some way connect with us and find solutions to what's going on. It's overall right now is about rent. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the public that would like to speak on the budget only?
Hi, Molly O'Brien.
You have 5 minutes. Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Molly O'Brien, 54 Hazard Street. I had a question about our homeless population and if any portion of the budget was being saved for them in any way.
Yes, Jerry McKenzie, can you add to that, please?
Yes, we have funding in the current budget as well as funding in the new budget for homeless people, and that's administered through our Continuum of Care, which is an established network of agencies in the county that work to provide services and to address the issues of homelessness in the county. And in addition, while we're not talking about COVID-19, we are also receiving funds from the federal government dedicated to homeless resources.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the public that would like to speak on the budget?
Move to close the public portion.
Second.
Motion to close by Freeholder Tamaro, second by Freeholder Koppel. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, at this time, the clerk will read Resolution 20-537, which is relative to the 2020 budget amendment.
Amend 2020 budget, County of Middlesex, New Jersey, whereas the county budget for the year 2020 was approved on March 5th, 2020, and whereas the public hearing on said budget has been held and advertised, and whereas it is desired to amend said approved budget, and now therefore it be resolved by the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Middlesex that the following amendments to be approved by the approved budget of 2020 be made as follows. General revenues, surplus anticipated, from 0 to $10,917,353. Miscellaneous revenues anticipated, 13-099, from $92,346,686 to $99,616,591. Total general revenues from $510,843,456 to $518,113,361. Total operations from $384,186,682 to $391,404,587. Contingent from $600,000 to $652,000. Total operations including contingent from $384,786,682 to $392,056,587. Salaries and wages from $136,978,223 to $139,678,223. Other expenses including contingent from $247,908,300 to $252,378,364. Total general appropriations from $510,843,456 to $518,113,361. Be it further resolved that 2 certified copies of this resolution shall be filed forthwith in the office of the Director of the Division of Local Government Services for his certification of the 2020 county budget so amended.
Thank you. At this time, I open up the public portion on Resolution 20-537 only. Is there anyone in the public that would like to speak on that?
Move to close the public portion.
Second.
Motion to close by Freeholder Tamaro, seconded by Freeholder Koppel. Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood,
Yes.
Freeholder Ascona Barber,
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny,
Yes.
Freeholder Koppel,
Yes.
Freeholder Nara,
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes. Is there a motion to adopt Resolution 20-537?
So moved.
Second?
Motion to adopt by Freeholder Tamaro, second by Freeholder Koppel. Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood,
Yes.
Freeholder Ascona Barber,
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny,
Yes.
Freeholder Koppel,
Yes.
Freeholder Nara,
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes. Now, is there a motion in order to adopt the 2020 county budget?
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Freeholder Nara, second by Freeholder Koppel. Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood,
Yes.
Freeholder Ascona Barber,
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny,
Yes.
Freeholder Koppel,
Yes.
Freeholder Nara,
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes. We have minutes for approval.
Yes, the Board of Chosen Freeholders regular meeting, April 2nd, 2020 at 7:00 p.m.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the minutes?
Second?
Motion by Freeholder Tamaro, second by Freeholder Koppel. Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood,
Yes.
Freeholder Ascona Barber,
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny,
Yes.
Freeholder Koppel,
Yes.
Freeholder Nara,
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Kelso, are there any resolutions to be added?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be amended?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be held?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be voided?
There are none.
Okay, at this time, I open up the meeting to the public on any comments on any of the resolutions listed only.
Yes, Mr. Director, Charlie Prattville.
Cradaville, your address, and you have 5 minutes.
Certainly. New Brunswick today. Want to ask about 20-557R on page 6 is your the leased buildings, including the administration building. What are the capital projects that amount to $3.1 million, and how much is the annual lease in addition to this $3 million?
John Palomino, can you answer that?
Yes. As you know, the administration building and the other buildings that were built around the same time are coming on about 20 years old. And so normally the annual capital investments would be around $1 million, $1.5 million. There's an increase to that because there's a need to replace more of the infrastructure, including carpeting, obviously the painting of the facility, some of the HVAC. So normal maintenance over a 20-year life of an existing building requires capital investments to continue to preventive maintenance and enhance that facility. So each and every year, you will see that there are capital investments made, and this year it's focusing on the necessary upgrades to the building itself because, again, of the age, to ensure the safety of people who are in the building working as well as the general public. I do not have the annual lease amount in front of me, but I can provide it to you as well tomorrow, and I asked Joe just to provide it to you as well.
Thanks. Moving on to page 8, the 20-570-R is the LSRP services for the former Wolfson deck. Can you tell me what the status is of that? Is it still going to become a park? And what's the holdup?
Mr. Ron Sender, can you answer that?
Yes, sir. Presently, we're still doing the remedial investigation of the site. When we took down the parking deck, we removed all the hot spots and we put in clean fill as a protective cover. There is still some chemicals in the groundwater, which are coming from off-site. There used to be a foundry across Liberty Street. There was also dry cleaners uphill. So the DEP will not make us extract those chemicals, but we have to do our due diligence and monitor them. As far as the park is concerned, my understanding was New Brunswick was going to take the lead in the park design, and we're waiting for an agreement to be executed with the city for that.
And so what kinds of contaminants are there, and why don't we want to extract them?
Okay, so in the soil, there was some arsenic, beryllium, lead, and petroleum hydrocarbons. We did extract all the hot spots as much as practicable, but we put clean fill on top of it, and that is a protective barrier. The chemicals will not migrate through the cap. As far as the groundwater, there are some dense chemicals, trichloroethylene, vinyl chloride.
Oh, boy.
And there's no treatment per se. They will dissipate. The source was cut off, but they will dissipate over years, but they have to be monitored and documented.
Okay, so it sounds like it's a long way until this is a park. Is that fair to say? Is there a timeline for when it might open to the public?
Well, I think the city would take the lead on building the park, so that's a question best asked to the city.
Okay. Unfortunately, they canceled their meeting this week, but I'll just end with the last one I want to ask about is on page 10 is the agreement with Rutgers for emergency management. Can you talk a little bit about what this is?
What is that, Mr. Cradova? What number?
585.
585? I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
585.
John, are you familiar with this one?
Yeah, so maybe Joe may be able to answer that better, but I am, but I'll give Joe an opportunity first. Yes.
Time's up.
Joe Krizik, can you answer that?
Yes, I can. That's in conjunction with our Destination 2040. It's the mitigation planning that we have, basically for flood zones, critical infrastructure, and the like. And the reason we're dealing with Rutgers is because they took the lead on that, and we're working in cooperation with them to update our databases.
Thank you, Joe. Okay, anyone else in the public? On any resolutions listed? Hearing none?
Move to close the public portion.
Second.
Motion to close by Freeholder Tamaro, second by Freeholder Coppel. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Mr. Kelso. First of all, does any freeholder have to remove any items from the agenda, on the consent agenda?
Yes, Freeholder Director.
Okay.
It's Freeholder Nara, and I need to have Resolution 20-545-R voted separately.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, Mr. Kelso?
We also, I believe, Freeholder Escona Barber.
Oh,
Yes, I have to abstain, Resolution 20-589.
okay. Okay, Mr. Kelso.
Yes, Freeholder Director, a motion would then be in order to adopt the consent agenda consisting of resolution numbers 20-534 through resolution 20-591, excluding resolutions 20-534, 535, 536, and 537, which were previously voted upon, and resolutions 20-545 and resolution 20-589 to be voted upon separately.
Is there a motion?
Motion to adopt the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Motion to adopt by Freeholder Tamaro, second by Freeholder Coppel. Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood,
Yes.
Freeholder Ascona Barber,
Sí.
Freeholder Ascona Barber,
Sí.
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny,
Yes.
Freeholder Koppel,
Yes.
Freeholder Nara,
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes.
Now, Freeholder Director, would be appropriate to consider Resolution 20-545 that was excluded by Freeholder Nara.
Motion to adopt?
Second?
Motion to adopt by Freeholder Tamaro, second by Freeholder Koppel. Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood,
Yes.
Freeholder Ascona Barber,
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny,
Yes.
Freeholder Koppel,
Yes.
Freeholder Nara,
Present but not voting.
Freeholder Tamaro,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes.
And finally, Director, would be appropriate to consider Resolution 20-589, which was excluded by Freeholder Ascona Barber.
Motion to adopt?
Second?
Motion to adopt by Freeholder Tamaro, second by Freeholder Koppel. Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood,
Yes.
Freeholder Ascona Barber,
Present but not voting.
Freeholder Kenny,
Yes.
Freeholder Koppel,
Yes.
Freeholder Nara,
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes. At this time, I open up the meeting to the public.
Oh, boy.
Anyone from the public have any comments? Again, I just remind you that please keep your language appropriate, and if it's not, I will gavel you out of order. If I have to say it a second time, you will be muted. Is there anyone in the public that would like to speak?
Yeah, Charlie, I'll speak if
Please
nobody
state
else
your
wants
name
to.
and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Director. Charlie Cradaville, New Brunswick. I'm the editor of New Brunswick Today. Just wanted to, for the record, ask through you, Mr. Director, for Freeholder Nara, if you could just explain why you abstained on 545.
Freeholder Nara.
Sure. Yes, Charlie, I am a board member of Jewish Family Services, and that's a resolution that deals with with them.
Thank you kindly. And through you, sir, for Freeholder Ascona Barber on 589, why she abstained.
Yes, I have a conflict due to my husband work for the New Brunswick Police Department.
Mm-hmm.
Copy that. Okay. So I did want to ask for an update on the French Street potential intersection improvements that we discussed on the last Freeholder call.
Okay, Ron Sender, can you follow up on that with Mr. Cradaville?
Okay, you said French Street. Is there a specific site, or you want me to talk about the corridor in general?
I think we had talked about, Robert Wood Johnson's promise from 18 years ago to, install a signal at, I believe, Plum or Prospect in that area.
Okay, presently we're having discussions with the city. There is an application, since the actual development is on Somerset and Prospect. It's a 15-story office building. And through their application, I believe there's discussions about a signal. I think that's best answered by the city, where they are with that issue.
Gotcha. So it might be the developer, Mr. DeAnton. I want to use the balance of my time to talk about the real urgent need for expanded testing for the virus. I know that there is no location in New Brunswick that the county has offered yet, and we desperately need one. A lot of folks here can't drive or don't have, access to a vehicle, and it's great that Rutgers and Robert Wood and the county have stepped up and rolled out this new type of test, and it's really commendable and encouraging to see that. And I'm just imploring you that New Brunswick needs access to that, and I think that it only makes sense that if Rutgers is behind this innovative, opportunity to test and to learn more about the virus, that their campus would be a great place to distribute those tests and to take those samples. So I think that New Brunswick and our neighbors in Piscataway as well should definitely have the benefit of having the test here. And I really hope that you can make that happen. This is really urgent.
Welcome to the audio conferencing center. Please enter a conference ID followed by pound. If you're the meeting organizer, press star now. Please wait for the leader to admit you to the meeting. Thank you for your patience. You're now joining the meeting.
that you would have to,
This meeting is being recorded and/or transcribed.
we have plenty of employees that we're responsible for in county government, and we make sure that they comply with the policy of social distancing and personal protective equipment.
Well, like I said, due to where they canceled their meeting, and then the last thing I will say, thank you for approving the stop, no turn on red for Jersey Avenue and Handy, due to where once it went through with the city, the sign was put up the next day. I do thank you for helping New Brunswick be safe.
Thank you. Anyone else in the public that would like to speak?
Yes,
Krista?
me, Teresa. Hello?
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Teresa Vivar, 10 Prospect Street, New Brunswick. Just want to start by saying that thank you for all your efforts. Like we have been volunteers for many years, trying to cooperate with any agency, any institution that is willing to provide to everybody, not only few. By saying that, I think it's important by the situation to think about, again, how of the different funds that we have are going to provide some type of balance between what's going on in terms of rent for the immigrant community, health. We don't have spaces for people that, even though it says positive, we don't have spaces where, or sites where people can be allocated for a small isolation after they've been discharged by the hospital. And even though in New Brunswick, for example, that we have some spaces that have been empty, and there is some space where we can use, community members or community organizations can use to isolate our community members so they cannot return to the homes, because again, the rent is so expensive that obligates people to leave 2 families in a house, something like that. So in this issue, we have been talking about many times before COVID, and I think it's a lot of need of cooperation between different organizations, community members, and freeholders to ensure that we have really some type of program that can help everybody, not only few. And then the other thing is about to find a protocol or a way to communicate between hospitals, the police, the organizations when somebody passes away. At this moment in our county, we have families looking for the bodies of their loved ones who passed away. And I feel like it's because they calling us. It's terrible that for 2 weeks people is looking for somebody that passed away. And hospitals are not able to respond to these family members, or police officers, or even the morgue don't respond to friends, to family members. Yes, we try to find ways to communicate with each other, but really there is no system in place where people can feel respected, and community members who lost someone don't feel that stress to deal with people that in the hospital deny. For example, right now we have a case of a mother of 3 looking for his husband, signed 04, her husband dies on April 4th, and somebody from the hospital is telling like there is no information about your husband at all. So please find a way to ensure that it is a protocol in which family members or friends or even organizations are going to be provided by some information that we can communicate with parents that are in our country or friends that are looking for these bodies. And this is really sad. It's going a lot. And as somebody else mentioned, people is dying in their homes. And we don't have, and we feel really in terms of the census, we organizations, we try to speak with our family members and friends and everybody in our community, trying to make them understand the importance of the census. But I think these actions that, like they feel betrayed, they feel abandoned. And I think everything is going to affect us if we don't start talking really about how we're using these funds in this moment of emergency. Just please contact us. You know me, some of you know me, and you know I'm very grateful for everything that you guys do. But somehow we have to feel what other people is going on right now in the immigrant community that has no way right now, no even has money to pay for a cremation. I'll just put it right there. But anyone can reach out to us. You know who we are. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the public that would like to speak?
Yes.
Please
Crystal
state your
Edison,
name
New
and
Jersey.
address, and you have 5 minutes.
Crystal Edison, New Jersey.
Christo who?
Crystal Macropolis, Edison, New Jersey.
Okay, you have 5 minutes, Christo.
Thank you. I just want to thank the Freeholder Camaro that he's always going to the white church down on Woodbridge Avenue, giving food and milk and all that. Director Rios, I feel you haven't been leading this charge against the coronavirus. Just like Mayor Lanke, you and Lanke have been silent. Just like Governor Murphy with his unconstitutional policies, I want to hear my Freeholder directors promise the residents of Middlesex County they will not enforce Governor Murphy's unconstitutional policies.
And what are you talking in specific about unconstitutional policies? There's certain policies that the state,
for example,
and the government.
My First Amendment right to go to church and receive the Eucharist and Holy Communion during the holy season. I don't appreciate that. I feel he's going against my First Amendment right for religious freedom, and I'm gonna file a report. I want to say in November 2018, Liberty Headlines reported Middlesex County released 92 criminal aliens, including a triple murder suspect. Governor Murphy's unconstitutional sanctuary policy is putting the public safety of New Jersey residents at risk. Thanks to President Donald Trump, New Jersey residents who have become victims of Governor Murphy's radical left-wing communist policies can now sue the state of New Jersey. Governor Murphy and Attorney General Gerber Gruwell should be arrested for harboring illegal criminal aliens. Governor Murphy truly has no respect for the USA Constitution. He allows illegals to get driver's license with one bill, while I need 6 points of identification. Governor Murphy in Middlesex County, they're treating us like we are second-class citizens, and I don't appreciate that, Director Rios. Hello, are you there?
I'm here, I'm listening. You have your 5 minutes, I'm listening.
Okay, so will you promise the residents of Middlesex County, New Jersey, that you will not enforce unconstitutional orders? They're talking about we need papers to travel freely now, that we need to be tested for coronavirus before things start going back to normal. This is very reminiscent of Nazi Germany, wouldn't you say so, Director Rios?
You need papers for what?
Huh?
What are you saying you need papers for?
Well, that's what they're saying. Bill Gates is saying soon we're going to need papers to travel freely. The World Health Organization is talking about coming into our homes and taking away our children and our grandparents. And I would like the Freeholder Director Rios to say, not in our county, not in the greatest county in New Jersey, Middlesex County. Would you support this?
I have no idea what comments that you're speaking of, your quotes that you're speaking of other people.
Yes, the World Health Organization said yesterday publicly that they're going to enter people's homes and take away people's children and grandparents if they think that they have the coronavirus.
I didn't see that.
Well, it is a fact, and since we hypothetically, since you didn't hear it, would you denounce and say that you will not follow this policy, not in Middlesex County?
I don't answer hypothetical questions.
Okay, but the World Health Organization, they did say this, so will you denounce them?
I don't know what the World Health Organization said, so I can't answer your question because I don't know what they said. I don't see it in front of me.
Director Rios, you said on Facebook, you called Donald Trump, our president, the lowest form. Would you like to take that back and let us know what a great job Donald Trump is doing?
I have no comment on that.
No comment? What was that, Director Rios? Can you say that again?
What else do you have to say there, Mr. McCroppoulos?
Time's up. Time's up.
Thank you. Your time is up. Thank you. Anyone else in the public?
Yes, Eric Munoz, 3 Kubala Avenue.
I'm sorry, your address?
Yes, 3 Kubala Avenue, Carteret, New Jersey.
Okay, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you. Good evening. God bless everybody, and hopefully everybody is in good health and wealth and of great status. We wish you the best, and we wish you that, everyone is staying safe as of right now. Again, my name is Eric Munoz. I do work with Shiloh, supporting homeless, innovating, loving others. I'm an advocate and also a coordinator in regards to a grassroots organization helping the homeless in New Brunswick and also in Middlesex County. Freeholders, again, I'm just trying to see if we could use the resources currently that we have in New Brunswick and also in Middlesex County. There was an executive order indicating that there could be credit issued to hotels and motels for people who are currently looking for a place to stay if they need to quarantine for COVID-19. I have reached out to certain hotels within New Brunswick. They are currently residing nurses and anybody in the medical practitioner field that are helping out our residents in New Brunswick with the extra help and hands that they need. One of the clauses that is going on is that as of right now, anybody who feels that they're at risk for receiving COVID-19 because of any type of living situation, again, that could also be including for the homeless. And again, Freeholder Rios, I want to inform you that you did make a promise for all the veterans that are experiencing homelessness. There are plenty of them that are in the shelters right now that they're being quarantined, but in very, very close spaces. I would ask anybody here, would we be able to use the current private business spaces that we have using this executive order to finally, allow people who are on the streets to at least get a room for the next 14 days and monitoring exactly to see how they're feeling. So that way we know how to report them, and also with 211 that they have a record indicating that they were sheltered, that they had something, and
somebody could put their phone on silent.
If I could regain that time, I would appreciate that. Thank you. So again, if anybody here on the board would be able to respond to that, if you need the reference for the executive order, I also have it as well.
I would ask Jerry McKenzie if you can follow up on this question from this gentleman in reference to credit for hotel or having hotels, because I know you were involved in discussions. It was brought to your attention. I didn't know what the executive order, how that qualified, but maybe you could answer this gentleman's question.
Yes, Freeholder Director, this is Jerry McKenzie. Yes, the gentleman is correct. That notification was issued this week for non-congregate type setting for motel placements for individuals, and we are looking at that for possibly expanding what we have already put in place. But as you saw in the resolution tonight, we did make an accommodation with allowing a transitioning of funds within Catholic Charities' current grant to move people that they have in their shelter who are symptomatic or need to be self-isolated, to allow them to use some of the existing funding so that this can be put in place right away to move those folks into motels. We also gave additional funds to Coming Home to have a contract with a local motel so that individuals who go through the 211 system and need to be isolated or self-quarantined can also use the motel contract that Coming Home put into place. And so far, in terms of those individuals who've gone through the 211 system, we've been able to accommodate the need that's been presented to us. However, we don't know what the continued need will be or how it might grow, so we have been working as a team at the county level and with several of our municipal partners having discussions about what the next step of putting additional shelter space might be appropriate depending on that increase in need. So I'd be happy to speak to this gentleman about the efforts that we have in place and any other information that he might share tomorrow. But
yes, sir.
Just to be assured that we have been working on this and continue to work on it.
Yes, and to add on that, if you need to reach out to me, my phone number would be 732-423-1634. My email would be munozs as in zebra, MAIL at yahoo.com. We do have cases as of right now that we see people within the county that are experiencing homelessness. We just want to know how we can reference that, what's the right steps, so that way they can actually get the shelter for at least these couple of days. Another note that I did want to also mention, and again, we do work with the law enforcement. We thank them for their work that they're doing. Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to mention that we see a lot of them not wearing anything on their faces. If we can also let them know to cover them up. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you. Anyone else in the public?
Yes, this is Herb Tarbus, 411 New Market Road in Piscataway.
Yes, you have 5 minutes.
I want to go back to a question I was asked at a previous meeting, and it has to do with the $5 million settlement that was paid out for a fatality, a death that occurred to the person who was incarcerated in Middlesex County. Now, to clarify the request and the response, hopefully, the request that was made was a question about whether or not there was any type of investigation made or determination made about how the injury was suffered by this individual. And the response was essentially, if I'm correct, that that wasn't going to be shared with us because of personnel reasons. But to clarify, I don't think that any of us are asking about identifying any individuals, but rather we would just like to know if there was a determination or any kind of investigation into how the injury was suffered by the individual, and if there was any disciplinary action taken. And we're not asking for any identification of any individual people or roles or anything. We're just asking, we want to know if there was, in fact, an investigation made and what results were of that investigation. Thank you.
Tom Kelso, can you answer that?
Yes, in any situation like this where you have a death in the jail, the prosecutor's office always conducts an investigation, and the county itself also will do an internal affairs investigation, and those investigations were conducted, but we will not discuss any results of any personnel matters that may have arisen from that. I will say there was no criminal charges that arose out of the prosecutor's office investigation.
Right, but we're not asking you to discuss individual personnel items. We're just asking, was there any disciplinary action taken of any sort?
Director, I couldn't hear that last part.
He wanted to know if there was any disciplinary action taken. John?
Again, I think I'd leave that with Tom. I think all personal.
Yeah, the answer is the prosecutor's office conducted an investigation as it's required to do, and there were no charges brought by the prosecutor's office, and there were internal affairs investigations, and there was no actions taken as a result of that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the public? Is there a motion to close?
So moved.
Motion to close?
Motion to close by Fielder Tamaro, second by Fielder Koppel. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Fielder Tamaro, second by Fielder Koppel. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carried. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Stay safe,
Good night,
everyone.
Stay safe.
Stay safe, everyone. Bye.
Good night.
Thanks. Farewell.
Bye.
Mr. Kelso, give me a call if you can.
This meeting is no longer being recorded or transcribed.